A fairy, a ghost, walking through the dark. But me, could I be their friend? Dying most of them, and she's bittersweet again, traveling through the air. You held a golden key, Mary, locked inside your room, but my relationship with words hides a million more. So if the clouds are near, they're all fears now, trapped in a mystery. What wonders they know about? I know you're changing. I know you're hanging on. I know you're changing when it's all too much. I've seen a fairy, a ghost, walking through the dark. I've seen a fairy, a ghost. On a new day, on a new day.
Ain't nobody stopping. Ain't nobody stopping.
It's Flat Earth Monday. How are you doing, y'all?
And we're back, right? How's everybody doing?
Yeah, so can you believe that we have just under 6 months of doing this type of content more and more and more and more? So, yeah, we've been doing Flat Earth for 7 years, and we had Fundamental Truth number 2 back in February of 2018. And so here's, the final experiment came along. We know that they're going to try and take down the fake flat Earth, and we put ourselves in a place to document everything and show everybody that, you know, it's a straw man takedown. We've got Will Duffy who's calling it, no, it's not a false dichotomy. And so we've got coverage of that. We've got coverage of Jake the Asshole. And yeah, just released a video response to QNFee where he had made this hit piece and he was trying to mock us and he does all of his dirty, disgusting stuff. But, you know, there was something I was able to get out of it. So we were able to take some correction. And with that, we're super elevated now where we know the exact distances of the latitudes as you go south of the equator. And so what that's done is it's destroyed the possibility of the AE coordinate system or map, whatever you want to call it, even being a thing that exists, right? Because it self-contradicts itself. It's irrational, it's nonsense, it's make-believe. It can only exist as a graphic, not even as a real concept, because it doesn't represent what it's supposed to represent. It's a contradiction.
Yeah. Well, and you know, lo and behold, you know, coincidentally, you know, all the characters that you're talking about, except for the one, Will Duffy, are all people that are vehemently against the scriptures, right? We coincidentally called out that Jaron was going to be the guy to, you know, fake curvature back in 2018 or 2019. And then now he's going to actually say that he was able to observe a sun upside down from the bottom of a globe sphere. That's where we're headed with Jaron. And we can see that because, you know, he hates the scriptures. And then you've had QNFee this entire time. What is it? Q Network File Explorer Execute or whatever it stands for. So he's been around. We've known him. He was doing Clouds Behind the Sun like first back in way back 2014, 2015, same time I was. And you came along 6, 7, 8 months after and started doing your footage, which was clearly some of the best footage that we have. And there's been some great photographers since then. And so we've been documenting our reality. We've been documenting what takes place, what we can observe. And we've had the shills like Q, Jaron, and Jake the Asshole, who's like gone super swim fanny. I mean, he's like stalking us. He's got Jason's channel in his search bar above videos when he's live streaming. He's calling us out, acting like we're in comments and we're nowhere to be found. He's going crazy. Then you got Jaron talking about people falling in love with the virtual reality. I mean, these people, I don't know if they're going crazy. I don't know what's going on with their heads, but what I'm really excited about is that we've got the new limitless coordinate system to bring out tonight. We're going to get to that. We're going to get to, you know, Q, how he wish he was here. He could join us, you know, come on camera, have a conversation. We'd love to ask you how you document shadows above chemtrails, your own circle of sight, and then try to go back to a globe Earth, or that the sun isn't local. I have no idea. I put a link in the chat. We're going to get to that later. That's for Jason to click on. And that'll show Q himself actually filming shadows above chemtrails. I've got it documented. Jason's caught it before. What this tells us is that the sun is lower than the chemtrail. If it doesn't take rocket science to understand these things, and that's just one. Sun's rising up out of the ground in between hills and trees. Sun's rising up out of the ocean, setting back into the green flash. I mean, there's so many different aspects that we need to discuss here tonight. The coordinate system being limitless, depending on your location, and again, all of these things lead towards virtual reality. So you wouldn't create a virtual reality that just had one fixed system where you knew that the sun was up in the sky circling around. You could see the dome, right? You knew that there was the prison reality. You were in a snow globe. Okay. Then there's a sphere. You would see the curvature. We know we're on a ball. We can see the curvature, right? Or we go up to the moon or into outer space and there'd be a 24-hour picture of the actual Earth spinning. We don't have any of these proofs. Right. So what we then have to understand is how could this reality have been created in such a way that it is a limitless type system where it's contained, yet it is limitless at the same time. And that is, you can only do that if you have a stereographic virtual reality. Okay. And that's exactly what Jason pointed out in detail over and over again. We're going to continue to do it over and over again. And if people aren't able to catch on to it, others will. So it doesn't really matter. We're going to continue. We can answer questions. You can leave a comment below if anything you don't understand. Jason has got more than enough time. He wants to help out. We want people to learn. That's what we're here for. And leave a comment below if you don't understand what the stereographic virtual reality is and why that leaves it open to limitless possibilities as opposed to having something so rigid and fixed. Who would want to be in a reality like that? Of course, we sing Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, wonder what you are, because nobody truly knows. Right? Nobody can get high enough to take a picture of the whole map of the Earth. Nobody can fly to the moon, because the closer you go to the stars and the moon, they move away, and at a certain altitude, they just disappear. So that's my long-winded rant. Jason, you did a great job with the video. And like I said, there's a few things that I'd like to go through. The latitude shrinking going to the south. I'd want to go over that more in depth. I want to go over the coordinate system. And I just want to talk about local observations where you actually have chemtrails with shadows above them.
Yeah, that's great. And yeah, so that response video, it's dirty, it's nasty. It was a hit piece against us. He's trying to mock us. But then at the same time, I'm going to thank Q for actually raising us up, because he's made it so that it's just nonsensical to even think about the AE mappa model. He's confirmed that the lines of latitude shrink as you head farther south, and there's only 2 models that do that. We know that he's on the globe side of it, and it was evident all throughout his attack on us. And we're flat earthers. He mocks us for being flat earthers. He doesn't think we can debunk the globe, but we have. And that video is going to be a reference piece where we're going to keep going through that he says coordinate systems, this is the only way that we can navigate. And all right, so that just threw out the AE mappa model and multiple suns and all that kind of stuff. They straw man this idea that because we say every observer has their own sun, that we're multiple sun guys, when we say we only see one sun. We never see multiple suns, but each person has their own perspective of the luminaries. And that's only possible because we're in a stereographic virtual reality. So we're going to stay on this topic all the way through the final experiment, because we know that we're on a fixed immovable Earth, and that the creator of this world is the creator from the Bible, Yahawashai, and his son is Yahawashai. So we're going to keep fighting for all the fundamental truths. Now, fundamental truth is number 2 is under strong attack. And it's going to be defense mode for the next 6 months. So anything else, brother?
We've been on defense mode for over 8 years. You're going to hear from characters too, like Jake the Asshole and Jaronism. And, Jaronism, he's not going to be the main focus tonight. But, he acts like, now that I'm changing my position and I believe in it's a globe and you guys are calling me a shill. It's like, Jaron, I showed you the data. I showed you the rise and set angles of the sun 7 years ago, and you called me a shill, and you wonder why we call you a shill, right? You wasted almost 8 years of your life. And Jake's the come along lately trying to steal, like, I came up with this truth, and it's all nonsense. And yeah, Jake's got to calm down. He's like stalking you or something, bro. It's getting creepy. It's really creepy. And Jaron's putting his content behind paywalls. It's just he wasn't quick enough, because we document everything. So we'll be going through that stream too. If anybody missed it, Jaron did like an hour and a half, or was it 2 hours about us? Okay.
I was
Right.
muted. I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, we're going to be going through all that, the stuff that he has and he put up on his screen. You were saying he contradicts himself redundantly.
Yeah, so I guess without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this content. What do you say, brother?
Let's go.
Others float like passing bird, evaporate with the nail time. Acid rain, it tastes like pleasure. Another day at your leisure.
We are back. And
Let's go.
if you missed the premiere of this video, you can watch it again. You can go and watch it, right?
There forever. Best time would have been when it premiered, but there's every other time forever after that.
Absolutely. So this right here was a direct response to a hit piece that Q made about us. And so I really sort of point for pointed quite a bit. And I personally think it makes Q look ridiculous. I mean, the position that he's taking is just untenable. He knows that the sun is local. He says that there's clouds behind the sun. He's filmed sunrises and sunsets. So to say that the sun is coming towards you, going away from you, things that the Freemason New World Order pressurized pizza dome require, he knows that it's not real. He knows what it really looks like, and that the only model that matches that is the stereographic virtual reality.
Yeah. Are you muted again? No, you're good. I think somebody's just behind in the stream.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's intelligent enough to understand it. I think. You
would think so. So, what are some of the things that you want to talk about most from this? From this presentation, this refutation.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, well done. Obviously, I agree with all your points. There was just a few things to drill in on.
Yeah. So one of the things that I took the time to graphically show people a bunch of things. So he mocked us for saying that we could stretch this out either way, and that would somehow ruin it. Yet when you stretch this image, all these lines of latitude and longitude, they're still all at their proper locations. So the aspect ratio of the image is not that important. And then we also found that, like, stereographic coordinate system generator, that we can move it around to any other orientation, right? We don't have to be fixed with the prime meridian like this and the international dateline like this. And so one of the things that I really like at the end of this video is that, if Jerusalem is the center, we were able to show people what the actual, one-for-one top-down landmass projection would look like, right? So, that type of stuff is cool. I like showing the stretching of the system.
Well,
but he has also helped defeat. Go ahead.
So that wasn't exactly what I was trying to explain when I was talking about the coordinate systems being limitless. But you and Q were going over it, and you were explaining how once you have the coordinate system, the grid overlaid correctly in its spot, you can skew it. But I was talking about how when you can actually change the entire makeup of the map, depending on, I guess it would be personal. We have to come up with the correct terms.
Yeah. So this was helpful. This is a latitude, longitude, distance calculator, and we can do some playing with this. I had it originally when I made the stereographic virtual reality explained video, and there's an image from this in there, but then I lost it, and I couldn't even remember how to find it again, and then I wasn't looking for it. And so it wasn't until I said something incorrectly where I was saying that the latitude and longitude were just 900 miles by 900 miles nautical, and that's it. And so Q wanted the opportunity to be able to correct us, and we're taking the correction, and now we've got this again. And then we found the stereographic coordinate system generator as a result of this whole process. So we're super leveled up. And anybody have any questions about how we measure distances between latitude and longitude and the things that can be inferred from that? Fire away, because This tool is easily accessible for everybody. And if you use this along with the stereographic coordinate system that we're sharing with everybody, you've got a working map that'll give you actual distances. And there's other calculators that'll actually give you the heading based off of these things as well. So powerful tools. So I was shocked that he came out and he tried to make this 360 degrees. And that right there is just horrendous, because you've got 90 degrees for the Polaris, but he called this right here 180 degrees over here and 180 degrees over here. Like, the only way you can do that is to turn it into a globe, because this is a graphic that, you know, we just gonna need to keep handy against fake flat earthers. And that is that in a dome like this, 90 degrees is directly overhead, and it's 0 out at the rim. All right, so this is only 180 degrees. This is half of a protractor. It's not 360 degrees, right?
I mean, let's break it down. Let's take it one step further. Everyone that's tuning in, how long do you think the tropics are? Tropic of Capricorn and the Tropic of Cancer. Well, I'll tell you. So the length of the Tropic of Capricorn is 22,859 miles. Okay. The length of the Tropic of Cancer, or that was Cancer, and Capricorn is 22,859. They're the same. They're the exact same distance. So if we look at the AE map or the unipolar projection, what you're going to see is that the Tropic of Capricorn has to be way larger. Okay. And then when we look at a stereographic virtual reality projection or coordinate system, you'll notice that the lines are all equal, right? This is very important.
Well, it keeps on showing the preview there. So what Ronnie was saying is that the Tropic of Cancer and Capricorn, both the same length, but see, it's an absolute contradiction within a circular model like this. Right? It's not possible.
It's irrational, like you had said in the video.
Completely.
Right? So there's this topic, this section, where I also want to take it to with your explanations, is the section of the video in 1944 when you were discussing how Q was using Ushuaia to skew the actual positions of the non-local or non-reality sun. All this language too, this observable and visual. Okay, it's I know he doesn't speak fluent English, and I can't speak his language, so I'm not going to mock him. If you're tuning in, Q, you should have joined us live. Come on here and spoke up for yourself and explain yourself, but you won't. But to make an observation, it has to be something that is visible. They're not. The two things aren't separate ideas. You can't put them out like that in the English language. It's not, your point is not being made. What he's trying to say is that so the sun rising too far south and setting too far south doesn't work on any of the maps. That's what he's saying, right? When you try to line up the angles, that's what he's saying, not us, not us. That's what Q is saying. And because you have to differentiate between the observed data and the physical data. But so if you want to drill in on explaining why he went to Ushuaia, and was that with SunCalc? If you still had that up?
Yeah, absolutely. So let's play his section here and see what it is that he actually says. And then we'll bring up suncalc.org, and we'll show everybody what actually takes place and how absurd it is for Q to be saying what he's saying. We'll go through this in detail.
According to the observed data, the virtual data that show the sun never travels outside the tropics.
I'm going to go back to Ronnie's claim again, but first I have to show you how crazy Q is shilling with the new distinction between observed data and visual data.
sun never travels outside the tropics throughout the year. And then we have the observed data that tells us 6 months per year the sun is not traveling between the tropics.
Oh, let's be real clear here. He just said 6 months of the year the sun is not traveling between the tropics. That is a very, very bold claim. He's the only person I've ever heard make that claim. So let's go back here and make sure that we got this clear, because this is the hanging point right here.
Tells us 6 months per year the sun is not traveling between the tropics.
Ooh, all right.
The sunrise angle not between the tropics.
The sunrise angle between the tropics has nothing to do with anything, right? The solar noon declination, where the sun is 90 degrees overhead, that's what defines the tropics. The rise and set angles have nothing to do with the solar noon declination. So this is really just gibberish that he's going through. I want to point out that he made a differentiation between, he just sort of pointed down here and then he pointed up here and he said this is different than this. Well, this all says air. So let's just remember that this more solar data and photovoltaic, let's make sure that we click open this and see what's going on here, as opposed to what the geo data for the selected location is. So he's got this open, he's saying this compared to this. Oh, and then the claim is that the sun is not between the tropics for 6 months out of the year. That's what he's saying.
Sunrise angle not between the tropics.
Wow, that was just crazy. Let me just point out something here that's absolutely fundamental and basic to let's play this section here so that everybody's up to speed and understands that these two rings here, we've got Cancer and Capricorn. The equator is in green in the Freemason New World Order pressurized pizza dome. Ronnie already pointed out that these two are the same length, which makes this whole thing irrational. But if we're using this as a reference, then the sun would have to be traveling just between these two lines right here, because 90 degrees overhead can only be achieved inside those two circles, right? That's the rule. So check this out. Every flat earther's knowledge, and that is the sun only travels between the tropics, and what that is a measure of how far the sun goes north and south 90 degrees overhead. It only happens between 23.5 degrees north and 23.5 degrees south that the sun will ever be 90 degrees overhead. Nobody has ever recorded the sun being 90 degrees overhead outside of the tropics. Everybody knows and understands this. So I'm here at SunCalc and I want to... All right, let's bring up SunCalc.
You're so funny the way you're mocking it. I mean, but he asked for it, you know. We don't want to do this. We don't want to waste our time. We like to learn together. That's what we're all about.
Let's get ourselves down in Argentina. This is what he selected, and I find it interesting that where he selected it, it was exactly on the path of a annular solar eclipse on February 10th, 2024.
Okay.
So, found that interesting. This is Rio Chico, Santa Cruz, Argentina, and he had the calendar set to January 1st.
That's a dark day.
Yeah, it's not quite the winter solstice, but I guess he just started with the slider on the side over there. So, all right, this should all be I'm going to pull the edge over just a bit so that I like to have all the data up here. And you'll notice that guys like Jaron, when he shows the Andrew Marsh site that we share, the 3D sun model, he cuts off the data, all right? And the data is it's the important stuff. So this is a solar noon, right? When the sun is pointed due north right here. Let's just point out here that the sun rises at this point. If I bring the slider all the way back here, you can see how daylight's moving. So right here is your sunrise, and right now it's just a fraction below the horizon here. It's 0.04 degrees. So it's going to come above the horizon, and then when it arcs around to this point right here, what we want to look at is the altitude on this. So when this comes around, all right, this gives us an altitude of 65 degrees. This means an observer standing here looking north, if they got out a sextant and got a sighting off of the level plane of Earth up to the sun, what they're going to measure is this 65 degrees right here. And that means that the sun is north of the observer right here. And then the sun's going to come around and it's going to set out to the southwest. So this path right here, for the sun to be coming up here, circling around the north of the person in Argentina and headed back out over here, that debunks the Freemason New World Order pressurized pizza dome. Right, this only works on this on the stereographic virtual reality, because even on this scale right here, right, nobody's circle of sight is this big. Remember, the largest circle of sight is 125 miles, so you can't see this far. What you can actually see, let's just go ahead.
Drill in. You need to drill in now. Now we're starting to get what our actual observations are. Okay, not this zoomed out. You're never going to see it, even if you go up in an air balloon or whatever. You're still only going to see like 100 miles. You're not going to see that far. Everything gets fuzzy, right? Again, leading to us to think that we're in a virtual reality. But when we zoom down, now we actually start to get the good data, the good observable situations. That's why I had said an observer who is at sea level, this circle, right, is 3 miles. So it's a 6-mile circle all around you. And that's it. And when you rise in altitude, it gets larger and larger, but we really can't see that far.
Because even in this sun calc, what does it show? It shows the sun coming out of Earth in a person's circle of sight. This is just another way of representing it.
Yeah, it's too bad we couldn't zoom in and then click on Andrew Marsh onto this and then zoom in and make it 3D and then also turn on the stars like stellarium. So that's another thing that I want you to bring up at some point tonight. So there was this topic. There is some more to talk about too in our personal circle of sight. The stars, you can keep going through this, the solar data and photovoltaic. But I also want to bring in stellarium as our celestial star observable model.
Yeah, sure. So I just wanted to show everybody this window, the default one, right, gives us our real coordinates, right? We've got our latitude, we've got our longitude, we've got our elevation. These are the important data. But of course, what Q was clicked on was this, which is more solar data and photovoltaic. And it just gives a whole bunch of errors and nonsense. And he was comparing this information to up here, when this is just pure gibberish here, and this is the real data. So he knows. Now I just want to show everybody that this path right here, we're going to move farther north as we work our way. It's a little slow. So as we get up here, we're pretty close. We're at 24 degrees right here. It's 23.5 degrees. And then what you'll have happen is at your solar noon, the sun will come around 90 degrees overhead. Now, of course, the sun at this time of the year is rising from south of east and setting south of west. Now we can change this. All right, we can go to the equinox. All right, and then it's going to rise due east, set due west. But on this day of the year right here, it's going to, the sun's, you know, going to be going to the north, right? So we would actually have to go to the winter. It sort of goes off the screen here. When we go to the winter solstice, this is when the sun is actually going to be coming to 90 degrees overhead, when the sun is rising from south of east and setting to the south of west. Keep moving farther north. We're getting up to the equator. Just want everybody to see the path of the sun here now. Get the edge of the screen here. Lost my slider. This, moving the slider, shows the path of the sun going from the north to the south throughout the course of the year. All right, and of course, when it's rising due east and setting due west, those are the equinoxes in the spring and fall.
It's just the Andrew Marsh site, top down with a little bit more numbers.
Yeah. And then as we drag ourselves up here to 23.5 degrees north, we're close. This will be summer solstice. All right, this is where the sun's going to reach 90 degrees, but it rose from north of east, swooping down to this point. Let's bring our solar noon around. And then it's swooping back out to the north. So, like Ronnie said, this is just like the Andrew Marsh site, but it's just a top-down fixed view like this, where we've got more flexibility with a tool like this. Let's get all of our data back. And here, it's really easy to see how it's presented on a 3D plane. This is what Jaron absolutely hates. We're going to be covering a timestamp about
Crazy what he's saying.
He's saying that this is the globe. He says,
does anyone in the chat think that this model here is sitting on curvature?
no, it's measured off of a flat plane, and then these are the elevation angles all spelled out for us.
Jaron said, this is a globe model. What? Where do you see a sphere? Jaron's the one who shows the globe model, but we still have other topics to go on to after this.
Yeah, so this spells it all out for you. Here's your elevation angle, 37.1 degrees right here. And, you know, just adjust the date and time slider and see how this all works. And the length of day, the twilight times. This map right here is pretty incredible. It shows you the length of day based on twilight as a map. And
it's interesting.
yeah, so if you move the day slider, you can, here's your longest day, real obvious, and then move your slider and there's your shortest day. So the data presented in here is pretty spectacular in my opinion, but all of it proves that the luminaries are actually rising from and setting into Earth. What did you want to go through next, brother?
Apparently, thanks YD, there was a question in the chat. North turning into south all of a sudden when you hit the center of the AE map is nonsense. That's not the question. Are north-south perpendicular to west-east in reality? Same with longitude, latitude lines. Are they perpendicular in reality?
Let's see, where do we show this? If I can get this graphic here. Oh, there we go. So what we can understand here is because all the lines of latitude are getting smaller as they come into the north and south poles, that the perpendicular is achieved at the scale of a person's circle of sight. So when you stand there with a compass at any one of these locations, it's gonna point to north, east, south, and west, all being perpendicular to each other, projected off. But if you extend those lines far enough, then they'll go off track. So all compass headings are done locally, and then same with the Polaris setting. So as you move along here, your sighting to Polaris is going to be different from your magnetic north. And that's the reason why there's magnetic declination maps. Because if you take a person out here in Seattle that is going to be sighting Polaris to the north, that versus the magnetic declination lines are going to vary. And then there are maps put out that actually will keep a person heading the correct north, right, as opposed to the north that you get from sighting the North Star pole. So within this, we sort of went through the sun calc area, and hopefully people are getting familiar with that tool. It's another good tool. There's nothing wrong with it. I liked having this graphic here.
Yeah, that was great. The multiple suns, however they say it. Yeah, no, it's so ridiculous, you know.
See, this is what is being referred to by the phrase multiple suns. This is what they're talking about. They're saying, all right, the sun's got to be going around the tropics here, and that for it to be circles down here, there has to be another sun doing circles down there. And this is what we're saying is the ridiculous multiple suns, and that every person seeing the luminaries from their own perspective, because we're in a virtual reality. I mean, that's expected, right?
Yeah. Well, so we've got the mountain of evidence. The preponderance of evidence is on our side. It just gets to the point where it's ridiculous in a debate. You think we're worried about a debate? We can't wait until the AE map is finally destroyed, and we can continue to go and destroy the sphere, the globe, wet ball over and over and over again. It's hilarious. We're going to do that soon. This is the observable section of the video that I wanted to bring up. This is the part where we slow down. Yeah, bring up a couple of these things. Yeah, Q's video, not bad. He got clouds behind the sun, right? He did get some evidence. I don't know if he doesn't film anymore. He just does hit pieces. He just gang stalks us, makes us eat crap on his videos. That's what he wants to do, and puts us in awkward, gross positions. Like, that's his mentality. Did you scroll through the section of the stuff coming up out of the ground? There's also a link that I put in the chat, and I also sent you a link. If you go to thumbnail and you go to Telegram, our own observable evidence, we're on to our local circle of sight section of the video here, right?
Yeah, so I mean, I brought up his channel, showing that he knows this stuff. He's recorded it, and all these things are debunks of the circular AE map and model, right? The sun's not coming towards you, and it's not going away from you, and it's all absolutely apparent. It's proved by shadows. It's proved by seeing shadows cast up, right, from the sun below. He's got that footage on his channel. Let's go ahead and pull that up right now.
I sent the link in the chat.
Yeah, so it says chemtrail or gemtrail. That's,
yeah, he's trying to beat the censorship because he's like a view whore.
Yeah, let's see what he's got here.
He's threatening to kill somebody if you take his views away, apparently.
Not much going on here. He does get to some interesting
You
stuff.
can scroll through. Here it goes.
Oh, starting to get some shadows. Yeah, he's getting them more here. Which way? Up. He's got
Above the contrail.
I know he's got better ones than that. The X
Yeah,
in
you can look.
the X in the sky is he does have a really good one. I think it's on the thumbnail too.
Okay. There's us. Like I said, he's our gang stalker.
Yeah, well,
Griefer too. He's a griefer.
he gang stalks Sean Hufford, Fight the Flat Earth. He's got his
Sean Hawkins, I think.
Sean Hawkins, that's it.
It's gross, the content. But hey, to each their own. If you is that it? If you want, that wasn't it.
No.
If you want to watch his channel, go ahead.
Yeah.
You know,
Here's one, the Sky Splitter he calls it. Let's open this one, but I know that there's the one that has a big X. There's his clouds behind the sun. He knows. He's filmed things going through the sun, like I've filmed things going through the sun. And in his model, the sun's 2,700 nautical miles high. It's ridiculous. Alright, we'll just open this other link, the Sky Splitter, but he's got... Here's... Alright, he had it. There's more. I've filmed it. I haven't gotten the greatest of ones.
Yeah.
There's other ones on YouTube that... Here's...
That's a better shot of it. Well, I sent you in Telegram. DM'd you when we actually filmed it. So you can click on that and show everybody, because we want to continue to drill home that the way that things interact with the sun, the moon, and all the stars, and like rainbows and other like things that happen in the sky, it's all supernatural.
So you
Right?
sent something to me in Telegram?
Yeah, I sent it as a message. It's a link to Reality Check. If everyone's not tuned in
Here, let me
to the
get
Reality
that
Check,
set up quick.
let me get you guys a link to the Reality Check chat, which is where you can get involved and have your voice heard. There's a group there that likes to share what they feel and think, and we like it. Let me get the link here. Reality Check chat on Telegram. Did you open it up? So it'll be from me.
Yeah, let me
There you go.
figure out how to present this a little better.
That's the link to Reality Check chat at Reality Check chat on Telegram, right? You'll find it. Join us. Come and have your voice heard and investigate reality with us. That's what we're doing over there. And it's a small group, so you definitely get heard. You know, we don't
Yeah.
have dating apps. There's nothing stupid or crazy or weird going on there. We just share truth and mixtapes and stuff.
All right, so let's check this out. Oops.
Video shows that there comes the sunrise. Look at these 10.
Trying to figure out how to get this sized for us better. Oh, this might be closer.
Video shows that there comes the sunrise. Look at these chemtrail shadows above.
Ooh.
Love it.
Come on, everybody. What does that mean? If the shadow is up and the sun is down, what does that mean? Is this just a picture?
Picture. Yeah. Zoom in. So there's so much more of this too, you know, and when we show it and then people hear about it, they go out and then you're going to see it too. Guys like Reality Witness in the chat, you're going to see it. You're going to be able to film it. Everybody, the other day, someone messaged me and
there comes the sunrise.
and they had experienced this right away because we brought it up in the last live stream. And I want people to know that the clouds behind the sun and the moon, you can see as the sun rises or the sun sets just with your naked eye. The moon too. The moon, because the moon is closer to us than the sun, actually can go higher up into the sky and still have clouds behind it. And then you can get really high clouds too that go way up in the sky. You just have to start observing and looking around and seeing how beautiful this place is.
Yeah, there's a bunch of cool things that are being dropped at the Reality Check chat, and like one of them we're going to be going through at some point for sure. It's the moon circling above the horizon for 14 days, going from a full moon all the way to a new moon before it sets below the horizon. It's pretty incredible, and if Jaron thinks he's going to go to the south and not see a sun circle over his head, he's crazy.
So we can continue on. This is just more evidence I want to continue to point out for everybody that's tuning in right now, is that this place is amazing and it's supernatural. It's a virtual reality.
Mm-hmm. So that came up out of a result of talking about these shadows coming from clouds. You know, most truthers have seen this now, the sun rising up out of Earth, where you can clearly see the trees that are still behind it and the trees that are in front of it. And let's talk about this a little bit. So this is what we were happy to get our hands back on again. So what do you want to test out here? So it's pretty simple. You've got 2 different lats and longitudes, 2 different places, and then it'll tell you the distance between these locations. So let's do a simple one where people should be starting to get to know that New Orleans is at 30 degrees north. It's at 90 degrees west. And if we're to measure to the equator at 90 degrees, all right, we get 1,800 nautical miles. Right, that's how this calculator works. And so if we're measuring lines of latitude, what we want to have is a separation of 15 degrees, if that's what we're checking for, between these 2 different longitudes. And then what happens is we go north or south with our latitudes. It's going to be telling us the length of these latitudes as we go north or south. So just to show everybody again, at the equator, a section of 15 degrees of latitude is 900 nautical miles long. So if we head north, everybody should know this one. All right, so we head north, it's going to get smaller. It's 869. If we go up to 30 degrees, we're at 30 degrees. Austin's pretty much at 30. And so our lines of latitude are only 779 nautical miles from longitude to longitude. Now we both came from up north at about 45 degrees north. And up there, the distance of our latitudes were only 635 nautical miles. This just keeps getting smaller and smaller as you go up to 90 degrees. And look at how big 90 is. 0. Now if we were to separate these by 1 degree, right, so we're going from 89 degrees north to 90 degrees north, we're going 1 degree. So to do, if you were to go to 89 degrees north and you were to walk in a circle around the North Pole, no, there's no ground up there, but let's say you're doing this in the south. We'll go to the south after this. And so it'd be 60 nautical miles to do a circle around the North Pole. All right, it's all great. Nobody's ever been complaining about what happens in the north. It's only been the south. So we got this reset. We're going to go to south. We're going to go to south. And of course, at the equator, we're at 900 nautical miles. Now we're going to go to 15 degrees. And our numbers match exactly what was happening in the north. We're at 869 here. Let's go to 30 degrees. Remember, this is the same as Austin, but to the south now. 779 miles. It's getting smaller. 45 degrees. 635. Everything's matching exactly the same. So that when we get down to 90 degrees south, bingo, right? 0 nautical miles. So the lines of latitude go from 900 nautical miles at the equator down to 0 at the north and south pole. And there's only 2 models that have that, right? One's the globe. So that one you have to accept that it's spinning and that there's curvature, right? Or there's the stereographic virtual reality where it comes to a southern pole as well, but you're still on a flat plane. You didn't go upside down. No antipodal type stuff, right? So this was cool, but I don't think it was the coolest thing that came out of the video. I think this right here was.
Yep.
So this right here is it's called country-centered map projections. And I think this is really cool. All right, so you can do it as a globe. All right, this is the way it looks with 2 poles here.
Yeah, but we're not Jaren. We don't do it like that.
Or we're not QNFee either.
Or Q. Yeah, we're sorry. You guys can keep your whatever ball obsessions.
So here's a Mercator style, and see what the Mercator does. It stretches out. It stretches out these lines. You've got squares in the middle, but then you've got rectangles out at the edge. And so I don't think a Mercator is the best. The moleweed, all right, this is
moleweed. That's the Club of Rome, right?
Basically, yeah. What you do is you get to put all of your continents out on one side of the globe with a moleweed, right?
Like a half sphere.
We'll go to the Gall-Peters. All right, this is supposed to be.
It's not too bad, but you know, it's not represented correctly in my opinion.
But then, last but not least,
dun, 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 dun.
equirectangular. Boom. What were we just saying about Earth? That it was a
perfect rectangle, a rectangle.
Rectangle, yeah. And then look at what you get here. These are all squares, right? Each one.
Spread it out.
Each one of these are squares, and then this right here is considered stereographic, right? Because what I can do.
That's the free energy projection, but now you've actually made the polar points into actual points. You just created a southern polar point where you have half on one side of the projection and the other on the other.
Yeah, so you can click around here and find the one that looks closest to what we've been sharing. All right.
You're a little off the prime meridian.
But you don't have to. You absolutely do not have to. You can set this up any which way you want, because no matter what, it's the same. It is absolutely the same. The areas of latitude and longitude all line up. There's New Orleans at 30 degrees north, 90 degrees west, right? And if I click over here, it's still at 30 degrees north and 90 degrees west. Every single one of these. And so you can look at it like this, right? Do you see how this splits the poles like this? This is a viable option. Or
a lot of satellite companies actually produced this style of coordinate projection.
Yeah, it's absolutely viable. It's the same as what we've been sharing. Or if we click on Antarctica, this could be Earth too.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same.
Yeah, and the sun circles around it, in the winter, right? The northern winter. And so it's limitless. You can really, it's, again, the only thing you couldn't do to create a reality that was, you're going to take it to the Israeli centered.
Yeah, well, what do you think? Do you think this is it?
Well, yeah, that's what the scriptures talk about. Now, I happen to really, really, have a care and love for where I'm at for North America personally. But I can't take away from, the Israel being what the scriptures say is the center. And then what you actually get is corners of the earth now.
Yeah, so here's Israel centered. And yeah, there's a number of reasons to believe that this could be the actual layout of Earth. It's not different than the one that we've been sharing, but when you look at it, all right, you just, the prime meridian and the international date lines are arbitrary things. Right? They were established by humans, and so obviously they're not going to be right. This is probably it. This is probably the way Earth looks.
What like I had said, you can't get high enough to see everything.
No.
You'd have to leave the virtual reality, really, and that's the problem. So again, what the key points to take away here is that as long as you created a projection or coordinate system reality where you had 2 points, you're able to manipulate it in a centric personal view. It doesn't matter where you click on the map, as long as you would create it like this, which gives it the option to be co-opted and shilled out as a globe to create the whole Big Bang, you were created from nothing reality. If the Earth was created like an AE map or a snow globe, nobody would have ever thought that. If it was an actual sphere, ball, there would never be the debate of whether or not it was flat or round or moving or fixed. So when you come down to the knowledge and the understanding is that if you have a 2-pole virtual reality, you are limitless with your coordinate projection systems when you overlay the celestial data on top of it. As long as you have, again, 2 poles, you can't, unipolar doesn't work in this situation. You would know, hey, I'm on a snow globe, or hey, I'm on a sphere. So it's not like the creator created this way to trick anything. His ways are way above our ways. Okay, it's done in a limitless way. We still don't even know everything about it. We've got tons to learn. But what I do know is it's created in a way that it's limitless, and that shows that the creator is limitless, and that everything that he does is so much greater, so much more advanced than anything we could ever understand. Again, Jason can click anywhere. Click on Australia, Jay. This coordinate stereographic system that we've been sharing, it shows exactly how everything is personal, eccentric to each one of us. The scriptures state that the sun rises and the sun sets, but decreases not along its path, right? So the scriptures told us from the book of Enoch 5,000 years ago that the sun is always rising, it's always setting, and it's always upon its path, everywhere at the same time, because the creator is limitless. Now, the map and model of reality was created with 2 poles like this, so that you can anywhere you want is center. You asked me, Jason, is this real? The whole virtual reality, the whole concept of this existence, this giant garden that we're in, that we're learning, and that we're able to be in, is just every blade of grass is as beautiful as the last. So we can pick any city, we can go to any town, any country, and you can understand that it was created and it was special. For us, we were put here to have dominion over it. Now we've got men that want to lie and shill and do everything, but I'll just end this rant is that the creator we serve leaves things limitless. So it's a contained system, but it's a limitless one, right? There's no beginning and no end. You can't see any corners or edges. There's no curvature. You're not going to fall off any edges. You're not going to fall off the bottom of a sphere, right? And that's what it is. And we're going to continue to find the truth and take correction. So the reason why this one doesn't work correctly, right, as a viable model, is because we know that the latitudes and longitudes do skew down to points. Now, if you were to follow your compass and have
No,
this
this
projection, you went due south, this is how people are able to shill and say that they run into the ice wall. Wherever you go south, you hit an ice wall, because the lines actually converge to a point on the map. And that all those points do have to hit Antarctica. It doesn't matter if it's a AE map, you're still going to hit the ice if it's a Gall Peters, if it's any projection.
Yeah, well, this one's interesting because this is still viable too. There are still 2 points here. If I start moving away from your, you start to see the points come together, right?
And that's why we chose. Well, it wasn't even us. I like that. That's a nice look right there too. You know, I do like the way that looks.
Yeah.
We chose one that looked like the Gall Peters, or no, what was it called again? Excuse me, not the Gall Peters.
Mercator.
Yes, Pierce.
Oh yeah.
The one from the 1800s. I think that's almost Israel, or I think it's the prime meridian centric, like through London. And you click on that one. So this is how all coordinate systems can work on the same map, right? This is a pretty. It's crazy the angle that they've got South America pointed, but you can start to understand it's an easy to understand. Like you can clearly see that part of Antarctica is on one side of the map, and you can see that the other part of Antarctica is on the other side, right? Just imagine it being seamless, though. That's what everybody's trying to mock right now. Although Jaren's going to try to tell everybody that he believes that he's standing upside down on the bottom of a ball and there's a heliocentric sun spinning around him. That's what he's going to prove. And I'm telling you that you're in a virtual reality, and this is the system that we can use to map it. That's the difference between me and him.
This is really close right here to what we use. The difference is this is rectangular, right? For a long time we've been using something that was more square. So we could take what we've been using, stretch it out like this, and then it should look like this. And it's going to be right.
And everybody always wants to mock us because the way that Alaska and Eastern Russia is all skewed. And Jason's got it here on a much cleaner look. Now, there was the next section of the podcast.
Well, here's the thing. If you don't want it to be so skewed anymore, right, then you adjust your perspective to like this. Now this area is not skewed at all, right? So as you head south here, if you're in South Africa, this is the type of graphic system that you want to use. Right? If you're in Antarctica, this is the type of graphic system you want to use.
It's centric to the observer.
Mm-hmm.
So this is our new, everybody, welcome to the revealing, the giant earthquake. This is our projection systems now, and it's limitless. Whichever map you want, we can put it on there. Tell us the city, tell us the country that you're in, where you want it to be, and you can have it your own way. You know, what is that? Harvey's in Canada, have your burger your own way. I don't know what it is in the States. You can have whatever you want on it, okay? So this ends the debate now. This ends the debate over which projection is correct, because it's this one, because it's all of them, every one, right? Okay, we can move on now.
And this one, and this one. All right.
Literally, we can move on to any projection that you want.
What do you want to go over next?
Do you have tabs? Because there's the Jake swim fanning.
Yeah. Excuse me.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. Jake's LARPing as a cannibal. Whining about how he's getting too famous to cover us, punching down or something. You know what I don't understand with these guys, him and Jaren, right? And Q. I keep hearing them talking about views. They try to view shame us. Listen, this is a passion project for us. I don't understand how these guys don't understand. We don't care about the views. We care about finding truth and documenting everything that takes place here. So yeah, you got Jake. Jake's been coming on like a stalker, swim fanning in Jason's comment section and trying to talk like Q is some tough guy. Yeah, Q's going to beat you up after school. I mean, these guys too are obsessed with fighting. Him and Jaron saying he's going to punch me in the face. Jaron, you'd probably break your hand. Okay, Jake would too. You guys are just little guys, and doesn't have to get, your egos are just a joke to me. Just calm down. Jake really, his ego is getting so out of blown. Because he thinks he's some rigged football god or something. Because YouTube, they pump it. They let him buy the views. I don't know. And the other thing too, I'm going to say, and then I'll turn it over to you, is we don't make fake accounts anymore. We did that. We exposed it. We showed everybody how to do it, Jake. And we showed that this is what you should look for when you want to see people that are doing that. We just put the content up straight. Even if we spent $10,000 in YouTube money, they would still censor us. We wouldn't get the views. We're not like you.
So this right here is Jake, everybody. So it's the Svergay, right? We've talked about this guy before. He's the cannibal meat eater.
Mm-hmm.
Super Satanist. And so Jake has a channel. I'll show you it's Jake. But let's go ahead and check out this channel here real quick.
Yeah, so Svergay goes, what he did in the beginning was he would go to vegan protests and he would eat raw meat. He would eat like a goat's head, or he would just do vulgar, outlandish. So when people started to realize that veganism was actually toxic and harmful to the body, Goatus came onto the scene, and he was the guy that said that it was okay to rape your mom and your sister and to drink blood and to do all these different things. Goatus, and he would go and he would eat raw meat and like cow tongue at a vegan festival, and clearly gaslighting demonic Satanists. And so Jake caught on to this, and then what he did was he started eating the raw meat too. And then he had a meetup with Svergay, which...
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay. Again, coincidentally,
right?
Jake, asshole, meeting up with another huge YouTube influencer who happens to be a blood drinking cannibal who says that it's okay to rape your mom and sister if you feel like you want to.
That's bad. That is bad. So this channel right here has got 3.4 thousand subscribers, 110 videos, and it's active, right? So he just streamed to it one day ago. So this is
what Jake's doing.
This is what Jake is doing, right?
Wow.
Yeah, so all of this, every single video, here's 10 days ago, 13, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. This is all very current. All he does is talk about Svergay.
It's creepy too. Very creepy, very stalkerish. I get such weird vibes from this.
This entire channel, that's all he does is talk about Svergay.
Do impersonations of them.
Yeah, I'm back 2 years now, everybody.
Wow.
Right? Yeah, so this entire channel, every single video is dedicated to Svergay. He's the ultimate fanboy. Ultimate fanboy.
Well, he's getting it pumped now. He's getting it shared. Everybody's getting to see what's going on.
Yeah, so what he had to say to us is, good job, guys. You got 39 likes and 39 comments in 24 hours. Most of the comments are from you guys, of course. None of them are, except our responses. The few people who showed up to say something positive about your stream, you immediately attacked them and shunned them. So the vast majority, it's like 90% of the comments that came in were all New World Order shills, where you could clearly see very easily that these were New World Order shills based on their YouTube channel name, the avatar art they had, and then the content that they have on their channels. And so yeah, I do rebuke the shills that come in trying to get something where, you know, I'll set them correct. I'll tell them what the truth is, and I'll also call them out because I can see who they are. This strategy of making up lies and crapping on the few subs you have is working quite well. We're not interested in being popular. We have no problem just fighting for the truth regardless of if we have any friends or not. This is Jake, by the way, and I'm not trying to hide my identity. Well then, why don't you use your other channel? Right? Hey, I noticed you guys made the false claim that I am friends with Jaronism and that we have hung out. This is another lie you two made up. I have never met Jaron in person ever. In fact, he tried to file a false restraining order against me, and it was dismissed without me having to even show up. So,
hold on.
who's got restraining orders against each other? Like,
It's crazy. It's crazy. And when all that was happening, they were trying to fake like we were involved in it. Making up fake. Jake made up all this weird fake stuff that we were supposed to do.
Craigslist ad and...
Yeah, we never did any of that. Go ahead, CIAS. Do the FBI search. Go ahead, figure it out. We didn't do any of that. But so Jake is actually, because he turned coat, Jake was a popular, regular, mainstream flat earth channel. Him trying to act like he was never friends with Jaren and he had nothing to do with him is an absolute ridiculous lie. Jake was promoted by the entire community. Bob, he had a meetup where everybody, I believe it was in Denver, Jake went around the country doing meetups with all of these flat earthers. We showed him with IPS, doing donations, doing the 666. For Jake to come out and act like, oh, because I pretended to go against the AE map, I don't know any of these people and I never have. You absolutely were on podcasts. You knew them. You were a part of the team. So don't try to act like you weren't. It's crazy that he's coming out here trying to like me, and it's not like we don't both live in the same, you know, they grew up in the same area. They lived in San Francisco, correct? I mean, is that not true? No, they got to come at me and Jake's pretending that he doesn't know them.
Well, and you're going to see here that all of this, the meat of this, is
They
that
were texting each other when Jake turned or whatever. Jaren was saying, you don't do this. You don't never go full RV. Him and Jake were texting on their phones.
is that we continue to point things out as they happen, document them, and he just comes along and says, "Nuh-uh, you're lying. You two have lied about me meeting Patty and D. Marble in the past, as well as being friends with and meeting Kelsey Kerwin. There is zero examples of me meeting any of those people in person. But you will keep making up lies about how I am friends with all these shills because you two are actually shills who are friends with Jaren and his crew. We're friends with Jaren. We're shills. You went on Baby Truther show, not me. Also, you lied about QNFee being a Freemason. Yeah, we finally got let on, and they weren't expecting us to be able to just muscle through their different shill attempts, and we even walked away with proof that David Weiss is a knighted Mason. You have zero proof he is a Mason. Oh, also you lied about QNFee being a Freemason. I'm going to respond to that in my response. You have zero proof he is a Mason. The proof comes through you, Jake. You just made stuff up about us to make us sound evil to your teeny tiny shrinking audience. I know you'll twist and turn my 100% truthful comment around and make up some more lies about me, but just know that you are not succeeding in any way, shape, or form when you talk about me. My sub count will hit 100,000 come next NFL season. I am literally too big to punch downward to you nobodies. This is the only attention you'll get from me. I will let QNFee destroy you again, and I will show his video in my live stream where I get 100x more live viewers than you. So, we just responded to QNFee, and we just exposed that QNFee is a globe Earth shill trying to defend the Freemason New World Order pressurized pizza dome. So, your agent buddy Q is... he's not really a threat at all. So my response was, you are pathetic, Jake. Too big of a coward to use your main channel, and you have to use a troll channel dedicated to Sverge, the cannibal Satanist. Thanks for sharing this channel with us, because this will continue to discredit you even further. The vast amount of comments on this video came from clear and obvious New World Order shills, including you showing up with a Sverge channel. And I called them out on it, pointing to what made me think they were New World Order shills, as is the same I'm doing with you. Y'all are trying to do damage control for the globe, and y'all are here whining on our content because we can see right through y'all and are exposing your roles in the globe and pressurized pizza dome psyops. We say the things we say about you and QNFee and Math Powerland and IPS and Pat and D Marble and Bob and Jaren and Mark and Kelsey and Alex Stein, etc., because of the things we have witnessed and the way y'all interact with each other as teammates or controlled opposition. You very clearly are a spin-off from the inner circle of fake flat earthers that was given the task of trying to co-opt the truth we share and to attempt to discredit it. You say that the Freemason New World Order pressurized pizza dome is debunked, and you say that you are not a glober, but you will not say what you think explains your positions. Timestamp 1:15:24. Let's go ahead and give that a play quick. What you can pay them to do.
That's unexplainable. And the moon, for that matter. Sun and moon are doing things that are unexplainable on any map and model.
Except to 1/100th of a degree per second.
And so for me to try and make a whole map in the model, like, I would just be pulling assumptions at some point out of my ass. And then somebody like QNFee would come along and point out how I'm wrong. So I'd rather not be wrong.
Yeah,
so
okay.
I don't know.
He doesn't know. So I guess you're supposed to just pay him for his impersonations because he knows jack shit. You tell everybody that the motions of the celestial bodies are magical and that you are completely incapable of explaining them. We, on the other hand, can explain them to 1/100th of a degree per second, but you are here to view shame us and let us know that soon you will be over 100,000 followers and that you will be too popular to be allowed to try and troll us, and that your teammate QNFee will be without a partner because you are going to be too popular. QNFee is a filthy New World Order agent whose entire purpose has always been to shill against Ronnie and I. He was shilling against us before you were even a flat earther, Jake. Q does not need to say that he is a Freemason to know that he is one. Because Q and you are teammates, and because you are connected to Math Powerland, Canadian Intelligence, and homosexual actor and Freemason, and you are connected to IPS, a Freemason Satanist, and you are connected to Jaren, a Jesuit Satanist, QNFee is guilty of association through you. Everyone knows that the secret society Satanists only support each other and blackball anyone that is against them. You try and view shame us, but we are deeply embedded in the narrative, and even though we are the most censored truthers on the internet, my channel still has gotten 2.6 million views, and I have more than 1 million watch hours. People know that we have been standing on fundamental truth 1, 2, 3, and 4, see description box, since February of 2018. You offer nothing but sports are rigged and impersonations. I feel sorry for the people that follow you, but if they are too dumb to see that you are a New World Order clown, I guess they deserve what they get. All right, so that was my response to Jake. And
Yeah.
and he keeps trying to come back. So he's the one that's trying to gang stalk us with his Svergay channel. And apparently we're much more of a threat than he's letting on to because of the way he's trying to gang stalk us.
Yeah, well, and he's strawmanning the arguments, like clearly picking people that he knows there's no videos of him with, leaving out all the other community members who he knows and was with. If you click on in the chat from our podcast, I just put a link down below. Just have a look here. Okay, and for anybody that wants to tell me that I'm crazy, oh, you're just coincidence. You're a coincidental theorist that, he was yoked up with all these guys. But this is on Mark Sargent's channel, right? I mean, I don't know if you're sharing it yet. But this is Jake getting a promo, and and the other thing that these guys do is they take all their content down. All of Jake's Flat Earth videos, most of it's gone. It's not even on another platform. So here's Flat Earth Metal song, Jarenism, right? Featuring Jake, right? What's going on here? What? Maybe it's a different Jake. He's not the bass player.
Right.
There's force below my feet. That's a real cold gravity.
It's not good though.
I'm running faster to the east. 'Cause there's a ball rotates with me.
He's singing about Earth being a ball rotating.
Yeah.
What kind of music is this? Nuke the Sky?
Flat Earth, right?
I don't know. Where's the Jake part?
I don't know.
Stealing your fucking money? Did you guys go to space? Did you
There
guys
he is.
just make this shit up?
No, that's not him.
DeGrasse Tyson says so.
That was clips from his video. That was Jake, the asshole.
It's
Right.
garbage.
Yeah, well, I mean, he was in the crew. He was one of the members. And
I want to
although
know.
he was with Math, and they were Math Boyland, right? And they were calling out other shills, like Mark was a shill and Eric was a shill. So Jake was kind of like a meteor. He was on like a fence sitter, right? That's how he's able to strawman the argument.
I want to know who these people are. 4,000 to 7,000 people that tune in to Jake just talk about Svergay over and over and over again. Those are some weird people.
Yeah, I mean, what's he doing?
All right.
So-
What else? What else did we want to go through? Anything else, or should we?
That was it, just to get through Jake. And yeah, stay tuned for more. There's still a lot more coming.
Yeah, we'll be going through Jaren's the video that he took down and put members only. I think it's number 97, and he talks about us a ton in that, and he says a whole bunch of really bad, crazy things. Super shilly. There's that. There's one more that we could go through if we wanted to. This is the final experiment. Will Duffy is the final experiment of false dichotomy. So he put out a video 5 days ago trying to defend against it being a false dichotomy. And we've been...
Well, making it a false dichotomy.
Yeah, well, trying to take us out of it and creating this new, like, cube Earth. Cube Earth.
Ridiculous.
Do you want to go through this now, or do you want to save this for later?
Yeah, not now. No, we're good.
All right.
We're going to give him... We got so much more. We could never stop.
All right. Well, it's been fun. I hope you enjoyed the new Q anti-hit piece, the double debunk on
The
Q.
reputation of Q's nonsense.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Good job. Excellent work, Jason. And hope everybody enjoyed it. You're only going to hear this on the Yahawashai News Networks.
I've been up since Tuesday, and I haven't even had a chance to say we're both humming along to some modern love song from mainstream radio. In a monologue, both locked in, singing about some celebrity breakup, just like a romance scene from a movie. Fairy tales that end in tragedy. Give me some complexity, unpredictability. Changing subjects rapidly. Repetition gets to what kind of situation did you find yourself in again? Would you consider it a comedy? I guess it all depends. Give me some complexity, unpredictability. Changing subjects rapidly. Repetition gets to me.